West Ham's interest in João Palhinha has finally ended. Now, I know a lot of people were quite keen for him to sign for West Ham United, but I have to say, for me, this is good news. We were getting in some dangerous territory with Fulham. I think they said around £80 million, and then brought it down sort of 60. We put a £45 million bid in. That was rejected. Then a £50 million bid in. That was also rejected. But our interest has ended because during a friendly with Brentford in which they won 3-2, he was hooked after 44 minutes due to an arm injury. He was then pictured leaving the stadium with an arm sling on. Now, we don't know how long that injury is going to be for. We don't know, we know nothing. Fulham are going to keep that under wraps, especially because of our interest. But it's thought that due to his injury and due to his high price, West Ham have done the smart thing and decided not to go for him. And I have to say, I'm incredibly, incredibly happy with that. Not questioning his ability at all. I think Palhinha is a perfect fit for West Ham United. He's a perfect number 6. He's brilliant on the ball. He's got good long shots. And I think our number 6 is definitely going to be someone who is not going to be taking the rice role. He's not going to be driving up the pitch. He's not going to be somebody that is going to be the focal point of our midfield next season. So due to his good long shots, I think he'd be someone that will be good at parading outside the box and picking up those loose balls. His passing also, I think, is really, really good. And at 28 years of age, yeah, that's a little bit older than I would have liked, but he would be a good player to bring to West Ham United, but not for 45, 50 million pounds, especially when you've got players on the market like Alvarez for 35 million, 40 million pounds, for Lavia for 50 million pounds. I just don't think it was smart business. So whether we would have ended our interest in him or not due to his injury, I'm not sure, but it is thought that now that he is injured and we don't know how long the injury is going to be, etc., we have officially ended our interest in João Palhinha. And like I say, I think this is a really good move from West Ham. I don't think we need to be signing him. I just think for the sort of price tag that he would be available for, we've lost a player who's 24 years of age with an incredible ceiling. Who knows how high Declan Rice can go in his Arsenal career. Losing him and replacing him with a 28-year-old who, let's be honest, maybe has got another 5 years of football in him. He's not a player for the future. We don't have that. Maybe Freddie Potts, you could argue, is that player. Flynn Downs, I don't think is that player, but we don't have that player for the future. If we went out and signed, let's say, Lavia for £50 million, then you say, okay, well, if he doesn't work out and he's maybe only average, yeah, you flunked £50 million on him, but you've built for the future. You've hoped that he's going to be somewhere else. The resale value on Palhinha would be nothing close to that. And I think clubs just know that we've got the Rice money. They know that we're desperate for a number 6. So, of course, they're going to value their players more than probably what they're worth, which I'm not against. That's how transfers work. Was Declan Rice worth £105 million? To me, yes. To other clubs, probably not. And obviously, we, played hardball with Arsenal to get their target because he's so valuable to us because of the potential that we see in him. But we are going to be moving on to other targets, and a player that we are potentially moving on to is Youssouf Fofana of Monaco. Obviously cited as Tim Steidten as one of the signings we should be making. Young, energetic, everything you really want with Palhinha, except for he's probably about 4 years younger and would cost a damn sight less. Also Edson Alvarez, who we were in for in the window, but then all of a sudden Dortmund looked set to sign him. Then they stalled over personal terms and decided not to go for him. He is someone that we could also be going for. But interestingly, it has been said, and I can't exactly remember what journalist it was, but supposedly we are nowhere near signing a defensive midfielder. The season starts in 3 weeks. We do really need to pick up one because I just don't think Flynn Downs is competent enough to lead that back line. And I have said in the past that I think Flynn Downs should be given that shot at West Ham should Rice leave. But to be honest, at risk of contradicting myself, I don't necessarily think he is. I think he probably needs at least another season of some decent football to see where he's at before we give him the pressure. I just think it's too much pressure on him to say, look, we've sold our star player. You've got to fill that role. You've got to fill that void. And people are going to judge him as a Rice replacement. We're not going to get a Rice replacement. We're not going to get anyone anywhere near as good as Rice. But it would, it's inevitable. People are going to sit there and judge, probably rightly so, that, we had Rice last year and we've now got Flynn Downs. Is he anywhere near as good? And I just think that's going to hinder his career quite a lot. When he's played for West Ham, he's been absolutely brilliant. But I do think we need to sign an experienced number 6 who's going to lead the way for Flynn Downs. And luckily for me, Palhinha is not that player. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that. We always encourage a bit of discussion in the comments. I do reply to pretty much every single comment that you do put in the description. Do you think, is it a bad thing? Is it a bad thing that we're not going to get João Palhinha in this window? Or is it, as I believe, a blessing in disguise that our interest has now ended? And now, obviously, we have to look towards who is going to be our new number 6. Hopefully, this is the last video we do on Palhinha, because I think we've done about 4 or 5 now. You know my thoughts on him. You know what I think about him. But we are going to be looking at other targets. Yusuf Fofana is one to keep an eye on. Edson Alvarez. And I wouldn't be surprised if we went for Lavia this window. I don't think we'll sign him. I really don't. I think Chelsea or Liverpool will get there before we do. They don't want to pay £50 million. I think I think he's a player we should go for. And I think he's probably a player we will get a registered interest in. But João Palhinha, he's not going to be a West Ham player this summer. It looks like. I'm 99% certain on that. Obviously, we are always awaiting an X update to get the full story. But West Ham's interest has ended in João Palhinha, at least for now. And we are moving on to other targets.